My 27 female, husband, 26 male, goes somewhere every Friday but won't tell me where. Me and my husband have had 4 kids. So a few months ago my husband started to go to one of his friends' houses on Fridays, or at least that's where he said he was going. So last Friday I tried to call my husband while he was at his friend's house because I wanted him to get groceries. He did not respond, so I called his friend. His friend said that he wasn't there, so I was confused. When he came home I asked him where he was and he said he was at his friend's house. I told him that I called his friend and he said he wasn't there. My husband said that he was there. I am not sure what I should do. Can anyone please help me? Edit. I forgot to mention that my husband is terrible at keeping secrets and lying. He is really bad at it. Edit. Update. I decided I'm going to ask my husband where he was when I go back home. Thank you all for the advice. Well, it could be either 2 things: he's cheating on you, or has a surprise for you. I feel like such an asshole and I'm sorry for that, but you should go up to him and straight up ask what he's doing. It's clearly causing you stress and discomfort as he continues acting suspicious. Just tell him straight up that you don't believe him and he needs to be honest or you won't be able to trust him. Tell him you're open to hearing him out, but in the absence of the truth, you can't help but assume the worst. This is a major red flag. I think you already know that. Trust your instincts. It's probably exactly what you think it is. You know what to do. Okay, my question is your birthday or anniversary around the corner? If so, then I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. See how big this surprise is, and see how abruptly these plans cease. Is his friend married? Can you confirm with his wife? I would try at all costs to have a conversation with him to find the truth first, because once that snooping starts, it's downhill from there, regardless of the outcome. He's probably cheating on you. Maybe I'm wrong. You can tell him he's allowed to have some me time every Friday, but he needs to be honest and tell you where he's going. If he says he's with the same friend again, you know he's cheating. Hire a private investigator to follow him. If this was a TV show, he'd be going to dance classes, but at ISNT. Do your phones have a location sharer like Find My iPhone? I'd use that. Put a GPS tracker on his car. He's probably cheating on you. I also thought my ex was terrible keeping secrets, a bad liar, and also a tech dummy until I uncovered that he had an online alter ego for dalliances. Me and my husband have had 4 kids. Tell your husband he has to give you a workable phone number at all times to contact him in case something terrible happens, like one of your kids gets badly injured. I am going to way out in left field. Is he into D&D? He might be embarrassed to say where he is going. Definitely find out where he's going. You might think it's creepy, but one time Find My phone won't hurt and you will have your proof to take the next step. It is unacceptable for you to be lied to weekly. He's obviously lying. If he won't tell you where he's been, it's fair to assume he's cheating. You don't need to mention that your husband is terrible at lying and keeping secrets. We already know that by reading your post. 27 and 26 with 4 kids. Please, can we absolutely not swap lives? Also, your husband is sus AF. I would secretly rent a car and follow him. That's how my mom and aunt found out their husbands were chesting. Maybe he goes to the pub and wants to wind down alone after work. And this is his only way of doing so without people demanding things from him. Kind of like the type of people who likes to sit in their car doing nothing after work. That, or he is preparing a surprise for you, good or bad. Start going somewhere Sunday through Thursday and not tell him where you're going. He may or may not be cheating on you, but he is clearly disappearing and lying to you. That's a deal breaker right there. I would force the issue. Have somebody follow him, or if he has GPS on his phone, track him. Also tell him you and the kids are going next time. So next Friday, be ready. Sometimes you have to be dramatic and act a bit out of character. Don't assume the worst. I worked for Uber and Lyft in weekends, never told my significant other. Wasn't sure how she would feel about it and she would be worried all the time. Maybe he goes to the mosque. This is the 4th spouse disappears mysteriously every week post I've seen recently. Is there any signs that he has been fighting? The first rule of Fight Club. As an alternate to the most likely scenarios, he may be dealing with something personally and using that time to distress or simply be alone. Again, much less likely than cheating, but not implausible. Well, you already know he's lying to you. Tell him you know he's lying and that you need him to be honest. And what day do you get to run off and disappear and have him not know where you are? I hope you try to talk to him and update us on what goes on. He is very likely cheating. He may be up to no good, but is there a possibility that he's attending weekly AA meetings or seeing a therapist for depression? The pandemic had been hard on people's mental health. In many places there is a stigma attached to mental health care, especially for men. He might just be embarrassed that he needs meeting or counseling. That being said, you're married and he should be able to share those things with you. He cheating. Maybe joining a bowling league. No idea. Keep us updated? So if I were in your shoes, I'd make sure I'm looking after myself. I'd ask him when he is happy to talk. And when he is. Have a conversation that starts with asking him what his needs are. And after his needs have been expressed, state what yours are. In this case it sounds like not feeling insecure. Brainstorm with him how both of you could actively fill your own and each other's needs. And both of you should only do what your requests are if you're as happy as a child feeding ducks. That's probably a good starting point. Keeping in mind, for example, I need to read a book in bed isn't a need. A need to relax is. It should be emotions-based. It sounds really bad, but you should ensure he knows you are very stressed about it. He could be trying to surprise you, but it's probably just cheating. Don't jump to conclusions though. Try to follow him to know where he goes. Remind me one day. When did he start doing this? If this has been going on for a while now, then talk to him how it's bothering you and you need his honesty. If he's just going around town to get away from family life and have his own time, then maybe work a schedule with him. Could be he's in a band and they are not very good yet. Nothing is worse than being nagged to play when you know you still suck. Call the friend in front of your husband. My gut says that if this was a good surprise he would have told his friend that he was an alibi. The fact that he hasn't told him might suggest his friend would not approve. Either way you need to ask him. At best your husband is lying to you. I mean, just to add on to possibilities, not necessarily how likely they are, but did he have some close to him die? Or someone who has recently died? Because he could go to their graves if he wanted time alone, and it's easier for some people to mourn alone. Just throwing that out there if it is possible. He is cheating. Most people here saying you should track him or follow him, but really you should probably just confront him. If you follow or track him and it ends up being something innocent or a surprise or something, you will have completely broken his trust. Confront him about it, and see what he says before you resort to more drastic measures that will further break down the trust in your relationship. If he is bad at lying like you say, and considering you must know him very well, you should be able to tell if he is telling the truth or not. He's cheating. 1. Ask the friend. 2. Make sure to call him every Friday. 3. Buy a GPS tracker for his car. When it comes to men cheating versus women, it could be a little more hard trying to see if men are cheating. Unless they're a bad liar. What I mean is that men would cheat with multiple people just for the sex and still be active with their partner. If he isn't active with you, then there is something more going on in the relationship, other than sex. Like maybe there could be some strong feelings for the affair partner. I know that my advice could sound wrong, but check his phone or follow him. In the same time he could be setting up a surprise.